Greetings and welcome to Factorio. I'm Dgray, and today we continue our entry level to Megabase, where we are starting to get into the Megabase part. So last episode I just kind of showed you my designs for our Megabase, the pretty much basic form of it. So today I think we should start building some of it. First things first, we've seen this before, let's just deconstruct it and get to another place and start building it. In between episodes, I thought about where we should start it. Last episode I said we started here to the right of our base, the east of our base. But what I think might be a better idea to get ourselves jump started is to make it right here at the end of the main bus, pretty much letting some of our spill off from whatever we're crafting here go directly into our base, so we can set up a mall as one of the first things to get all of our things running and pretty much go from there. I think that could be quite cool since our main bus won't be getting any bigger than it is already. So let's just pick up the last few things here and then go to the south of our bus. Let's get the last two here. And this one. There we are. Good. So, inventory full. Well, you can just follow with the stone then. So, let's go and have a look at what we want to set up. As I've said many times before, it's gonna be completely robotic. So, that's what I'm kind of going for with this episode, getting all the basic structure set up. It's going to cost us quite a bit of electric poles or medium poles to get started, but I think our base can handle it at this point in time. So this is our main design for it, as we've seen before. This is our main solar power design that can fit inside the other one. This is pretty much the solar grid without the roboports, so we can just stamp it inside. And then we have this one for expanding out into the world, where we don't have to put down 100 some roboports every time. So the first one I think we can just put down right here. And hopefully that won't get in our way in some strange form. But that is at least what I'm going to try and do, and that should fit in most of the things we have coming down from the main bus. So let's start with this. This will be where we start the main bus. Not main bus, our main grid. And then we'll just work out from there. Let's get this place down. Let's hook up the power. And then let's connect up, all of our construction robots, so they can start to build it for us. So we don't have to move around like this, since that is not a sustainable solution. So let's start with that. That gives power. Let's give this some logistic robots, and let's just give it 18 for now. They will start to throw down things. I will just give it one storage chest with items for now that we can move in just a little bit. But that should be able to get things going. Now we just need to go grab things and let our robots do the rest. So I think that's quite good. So let's go up, pick up a ton of things so we can start building whatever we want. And let's just drop off a lot of this. That's taking up our inventory. And then we are getting things rolling. First things first, let's grab some more construction robots and logistic ones. Robots, power poles, since that is the four main parts of our structure. Let's also grab some solar panels just to set up a solar field so I can show you how it works. Or maybe set up a solar field, that is. Well, that's a lot of construction robots. Let's just give you two back. Grab some more of you and grab all of these. I'll kind of need to get rid of all of this, wood and whatnot for now, so we can take the rest of these with us. Let's get Oh, we're starting to build up quite a bit of these. That is very nice to solve our power issues in the future. Medium power poles, let's expand that out as well, since we'll need a ton of that as well. So that should be a great start to this episode. So one of the first things we'll kind of have to solve in our, what's it called, grid-based robotic megabase is pretty much getting resources in. Luckily, if you look down here, we do have copper, we do have a bit of uranium, not that it's needed ever, or right now at least. And then we have some stone, we have some coal, but we definitely need to go find iron if we don't just want to take it in with the main bus right here until we find some. So let's drop this off. You can go in there, and where's the other things? You can go in. We'll have to make lamps, but that will have to wait a little bit. And then drop in a lot of construction robots and logistic ones. There we go. Now this should be able to build itself as much as we want. And let's just expand it out a few times. We can go towards the coal, the copper, right here. That will slowly start to build itself. As you can see, my personal robots are not doing anything right now, and that's because you're inside a robotic grid. If you're inside those, they won't work, and it'll just take whatever you have waiting. So that is extremely nice. And look how easy it is to expand our base now. So that is actually looking very good. So let's just get copper inside. What's it called? One thing I made sure when I made this blueprint is that I can, if I want to, make grids all the way around and just have one robot in the middle of them, serving as a main hub thing, so we can get everything mined out without having to worry about something overlapping it, which is extremely nice and should help us a lot when building this. Oh, did I misplace something? I did, a small amount. There we are. So let's just get this one covered for now. There we are. That's going to be our copper patch up and running. We'll just give our robot something to do. And a cool thing to look at, if we look at our map, we can see them work, which is a very, very nice feature and looks very, very cool when we start to get into the millions of robots. If we get to that point, which I most definitely hope we will. So now we have to decide, will we set it up with stone furnaces, the smelting that is, or set it up with steel or electric. I kind of want to go full electric for this part, but before we do that, we need to set up some power. We could use this one as a one-time place down of solar. We can always move it if we want to. After all, it's free power, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. But we'll wait with that until we consume too much power with our smelters. So what if we just set up, what's it called, a smeltery area right here. So let's clear out some trees. Luckily, that is so easy to do with robots. And of course, we are getting these to help us. We don't want that anymore. We just want our construction robots to do it. And here comes a nice big swarm, clearing out the things. And then we pretty much just need to make a lot more of these. Also called medium power poles. So let's start with getting copper, steel, so pretty much copper and iron in, so we can get this part automated. That means I'll have to go and grab some, what's it called, electric smelters, or electric smelter, or electric furnace even is what it's called. And we should have those being made at our, right here, at our science area. So let's just steal quite a few of those. Should be easy enough to do. Let's just make sure we don't steal too many of other things while doing it. There we are. And let's just get a huge... Oh, that's a bit of those. That's fine. We'll just dump him off. To be honest, we could just take you and throw it into these so we don't make way too many of them. There we are. And that should give us enough to at least get things up and running and start to design our little setup for our robots. What I want to go with is probably a passive provider, buffer, and requested chest system. So when we set up our smelters, we'll take it from requested chests into passive providers, and then we'll pull it out with buffer chests to the areas where we need them. So we can buffer items beforehand, slowly and steady, and then when demand is there, it will move into the areas. I think that could be a good way to do it. So let's see here. First things first, we need to go get even more medium electric power poles. That is actually gonna be the first thing we do. Since we do need, how many is it? About 50 per cell we make. A bit less since they overlap to some of the other ones, so we pretty much need 24 per cell we make. So that's actually not too bad. Luckily, it seems our red is starting to back up as well, which is very nice. So let's craft a few of these. I could actually have picked them up down below. So there we are. What else do we want? We should have more than enough of these, but let's just bring them. Logistic and construction. That should be fine. So do we have some chests stored up? We'll have to remember to get some steel, might be what we're missing. That seems to be the case. So let's just do this as well. Into you, so you go a bit faster. And give you a small upgrade, so you can actually move them in fast enough. Might have to get one stack for that one, it seems. Can't keep up at all. Copper in is lacking from that one. That we can solve as well quite easily. So now they're moving a lot faster than they were before. And should speed up this process a small amount. Actually do this to get more in if you wanted. Hopefully this can run full speed soon. If this wasn't lacking so far behind, it seems. So now we just let this go and take what we have. And try to do a setup. One other thing we need to make is beacons. Let's make just one for, or two for the blueprints. So we can actually set up some somewhat good design for our smeltery columns. I want to go with productivity in our furnaces. Then I want to go with speed in our beacons. And that is kind of the way I want to set it up. Since I feel that is one of the best ways to do it. At least in terms of what I want to do. You can get some more here. And some construction ones. It's fine. And what else should we throw in? You can take some of these. And now we have the beacons. So time to set up our smeltery area. It's gonna be right here. Seems I need to set something up here at the top. Right here, please. That's gonna fill them out. And now we can design inside this area. So we want the beacons, we want smelters. So let's just set these down first. We want the beacons to hit as many as we can. So if it starts right here, 1, 2, 3, 4 can hit it. I think that's the maximum. Then we'll do the same on the opposite side. And then we can do something like this. What I want to do though is move it 1 to the right. So I have it right here instead. The reason for that is then we can do another smelter right here. I think this might be good. Where we can output this way and input somewhere else. So let's just make 2 more. So we have it lined up like this. These coming down to here. And then we need a few chests in. So if we do request here, request here, I think will work. Then we'll do passive on the opposite sides. Just doing... oh, that is not going to work. We won't get into this one then. We'll have to switch it up a bit. So let's just check this. It'll go into this one, into that one. Or we can do something as... Will this give us enough room? We'll know soon. In and out. Might have to move it over 1 more to get the space we need. I think there's some way to set this up correctly. It's been a while since I did it last. So copper in, copper out. That's that one. This one could do the same. Can we pretty much just do this one, then right here, right here? Will that line it up correctly? That is what I'm trying to figure out. And then we can set in power in these areas. Seems like that will supply enough. Doing something like this. So that goes in, that goes in. Then we need in over here. Or, let's see. How should we build this? You are welcome to comment down below if you think this is gonna be a horrible design. In, out. In, out. Then this one needs... Oh yeah, then we can do something like this then. Doing in that way. Let's just expand it down a bit more so we can get things looking correctly. There we are. So we have in. Do we have room for any power at all? We have room for power right here. That'll probably be an out area. Or we have 1, 2, 3, 4. That is not gonna work this way. Do we need to move it over 1 more to the right to get a good setup? I thought I had a pretty decent design for this. I might have been wrong. In, out. Because then I run out of room for power, which I don't want one bit. So we need to move it over 1 to the right. So what if we move it to right here instead? It will take a bit more room, but it should make it easier to set up this little part. In theory, we can just do both of them right here next to it. But that will take a lot more room than we did before. So let's see. Is there really no way to do this? Might just be the blinking that's annoying me a bit right now. Could just start with 2 to get the setup correct. In. But yeah, it is getting the power in that's going to be the issue. And just throwing in what's called a substation out here is not really going to solve that problem. So for now we could just do it like this and just get it going and then refine as we go. That might actually not be a bad idea. And let's pick these up. There we are. Let's get these down somewhere good. Because then we can do this. I don't think lining them up is the best way to do it. I think misaligning them a small amount gives the best coverage. But let's just deconstruct all of this to check. So let's try aligning them up first. If we do it like this, right next to it, that'll be 1, 2, 1, 2, that'll be 3. Yeah, then we won't have 3 of them touching. If we misalign it 1, so right here, 1, 2, 3, 4 with Chopstian. That is actually way better. What does that mean if we do this? We'll have 4 touching as well. 1, 2, 3, and then 4 right here if we wanted to. So let's try and go with the design where we misalign it like this. Then we'll do requester in, out, doing something like here and here, putting in 1 power pole here, and then doing something like this. Is that gonna work? And then a power pole right there. And then we can pretty much copy paste this down, doing this on both sides, getting double beacons, doing this, and then we should be able to copy paste this setup down to here. Will that make it completely modular? Seems it will. So let's try with this design. Of course, we still need to get the modules in them, but just to get things going, we will hold off on that for a little while. So let's move you to the corner. Could let it run here for now. Let's see how many can we fit next to each other. Because then we can double use these. 3. If we move it all the way to the left, can we then fit in more? Let's see. We could align it somewhere like this one. That'll be all the way at the edge. So right here. And what then happens if we copy paste this a few times? Here it can fit in 1 more. If we're lucky enough for that. We are not, so we can line it up like this. That means we might as well move it in a bit to the middle. Lining this one up. What is a good place? Somewhere like here. That's pretty close to be lined up to the middle. And then let's see if we can expand it all the way down to the bottom, just to see how it looks. And then we'll just kind of tear it up again if it doesn't look correct. Let's see here, that lines up with room for 1 more down here. Maybe, if we wanted to, we might be able to fit in the top one. So what about something like that? That means we'll have to remove those 2. That power, these 2. Beacon, beacon, beacon. Might be a bit cramped doing it this far down, but I think it could be doable. You can go away, you can go away. So what about this for our design? I think that will turn out... Oh, did we misalign something? No, we just have 2 on all of them, so we might have to change that a bit. But it does look a bit clumped. Because we have 2 here, but that is actually completely fine. We could remove 1 of them and still get the coverage we need. So let's just deconstruct all the way to the top. I'll pretty much just deconstruct the bottom part here so we can see a bit. You can go away as well. You can go away. And let's see if we can't set this up some good way where we don't have to cram everything in way too tightly. So let's leave 1 space at the top, just for it to look somewhat good. Let's do it right here, that'll still leave the same. Let's see. Could leave you. It's always that about how you should line it up. Maybe right here. And let's get rid of. Was that the same lineup we did before? Seems so. But we do have too much still. You can go away. And right here we can actually remove half of these power poles. Right there. And I think this setup should work for what we want. Power is still fine. And if we do something like this, then we'll have beacons on most of the things. These can be changed to whatever we want. And is it modular down? So if we take this and stomp it down right here. We'll add one more, but we'll have to get rid of the bottom power pole. Because this one will grab it. So we actually have to skip this one. Because that one's going to be our power, but then we can expand it down. We will sort this out before we... And we just have to copy it right here instead. Then we should actually be completely fine. Yeah, let's do something like this. I think that'll be good. We just have to go and grab a few more things so we can get this built correctly. So let's go get some red, what's it called, circuits, and let's set up our first copper smelting area. And then watch our power go completely down the drain. Because that's kind of what I think is going to happen. Need some steel as well, right here. And then let's craft what we need. Being quite a bit of things that we do actually need to set up in a mall very, very soon. But first, proof of concept in terms of smeltery columns. I think that could be cool. Need some of you. Just to get things going. So let's set this up. I do have some miners just to test it out. Moving items from this area to this. Don't really mind missing the beacons. You'll have to be... The next one will be right here, so we can actually put one here for the blueprints. Because then if we copy and put it down, it will line up correctly as we wanted, with no excess power poles. So that seems good. Will these get the power they need? Probably not. That's kind of what I'm getting. Wait, can we actually do something different then? If we do it like this, that gives us 4 spots. Will that mean we can put in a substation instead? So we can put in a substation here instead of the other part. So substation, substation, substation. What if we do something like that instead? That should also cover all the beacons. Huh. That means we can remove this one. And how does the copy paste look then? Because then it'll fit in right here. Then maybe we can do every second one will be like what we want. Because then we can remove these. Will that cover it? Yeah, I think this design would do wonders. And then we'll just, what's called, do a little blueprint of this for now. So just to save it. Because that should cover everything with power. Let's throw it into our blueprint book so we don't lose it. Can't I throw you in? Doesn't allow me to do it. So let's just grab it from up here and export it to our inventory instead. That way we should be able to use it normally. There we are. So this is what we want to try. Gonna be quite excited to see how this works. Might have to change all of these into stack inserters, but for now, let's just give it a try. Beacons and light is what we're missing. That's completely fine. So let's just hook this up. What I want to request from here then is gonna be, let's call these ones copper. And they'll all request from buffer chests, might actually be the way to do it. But if we have 100 in each, I think that'll be fine in terms of that. A cool little trick is that you can just copy paste the settings like this. And there we have copper in all of them. Quite easy to expand. So let's try and get our first smelters up and running. Might want to get the, no, actually want to right away change them to buffer chests. And the reason for that is if they are far away from the ore patches, I want one buffer chest to be here at the top. Maybe something like right here, requesting copper ore from all over the map so they can be put into these without robots going the long way around. It's a good way to be a bit more efficient with how we use them. So let's just clear out the trees here. Get ready to set up just a few miners, or pretty much just 4 miners to test this out. The way I'm going to do it, if you look at this, it's all covered, is with a normal 1, 2, 3 as we've done before. But then I'm just going to add one of these in the middle. That will make it way easier to expand. We can pretty much just put it down wherever we want it, and things will hook up nicely. That comes picking up the coal. Looks so nice having robots to do your bidding again. And then we'll just put down 2 of you. Here and here, here and here. And just hook up the power. To be honest, we can hook it up like this instead. There we are. So let's see if the robots will start to pick this up. It's all getting picked up. The logistics robots has to travel from up here first. All the way down, very slowly, delivering into these. But that should be the start of a very robotic base. While remember, let's just set up the cargo size to get done so they can move 3 at a time. They're moving 2 right now. Or I think they might be moving 3, and then get some speed up and running. Because that is gonna be very necessary to get this entire base to work. So let's just watch the first ones get delivered and go from there. Also need to remember to place down radars at strategic points, being somewhere in the middle of like a corner of 9. So maybe right here we can have one. So look at that, guys. We now have a good amount of things being crafted. We just have to watch our power doesn't go completely crazy because of this, but so far it's looking decent enough, and they can just kind of fly around. If we start to run out of, or if they start to charge too much, we might want to upgrade one of these to sort of full blueprints with all of the robots. That will give them more than enough places to charge. But for now, I think this is fine. This will at least give us copper in our setup, which is a huge start to our robot megabase. So looking at these, I think this is a good place to end the episode. And next episode, we will hopefully go out and find some iron. If not, we'll just kind of import it through the build right here for now, so we can get the base working. And look at that, the first little part of things going. I think that could be very good. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Hopefully you'll give me a like, subscribe, and then I will see you in the next episode. Bye, guys.